Hello there, Sherman, Leave a Legacy, episode number 45, Gratitude. There used to be a phrase called that life is given to the go-getter. And now in today's world, it goes out to the go-giver. Those that have a set customer service or client engagement model are the ones that are really succeeding in the marketplace these days. Recognizing that not only is it those that know how to thank and give gratitude and recognize that their customers are at the center of the relationships, that they find that if their R&D or their future programs are set at the heart of satisfying consumers' needs, then they'll continually stay on top of that game. Right now we're in a marketplace where there's a lot of stuff being made, a lot of stuff being put out there, but not a lot of loyalty to that stuff. There is a lot of loyalty to Apple. However, I wonder if right now, with the way that they're pumping out the iPhone and their newer tablets, if it's going to be like the Motorola and the Razr. Those of you that are younger are going to go, well, what was that? I don't know Motorola very well. If you live in the Chicagoland area, you'll know it's one of the largest employers in the area. But used to even have an even larger presence, not only within that community, but globally as well. And I remember the CEO was interviewed after they came out with the hottest cell phone at the time, called the Razr. And the analyst had asked the CEO, what's next on the horizon for Motorola? And he jokingly and wirily said, more Razr. And that was a good example of what not to do. So as you think about your customer service model and what are you doing to differentiate yourself? So if you think about your top clients and your top customers, more likely than not, they would be top clients and top customers to another company and another firm. So what are you doing differently to add value? More so than, taking out, Fred or Susie to the golf course or to out to lunch. But maybe there's something that you could do that's even more unique. I had heard about a story of a financial advisor that when he was talking to one of his clients, he asked the client, how will you know when you've made it? And he goes, well, for me, it's when I go to this specific golf course and with my buddies, and we're golfing, and I'm not worrying about the business and where it's headed. And lo and behold, I think a few years later, this business owner had made that success, and he was taking out his buddies, and the advisor found out about it. And what he did was he sent a box wrapped nicely to the golf course. So that way when the business owner, his client, got there, he had this box, and on the box he had wrote a note that said, don't open until you're on the 18th green. And then his three friends are like, oh my gosh, what is this box? I want to know what's inside. I want to know what's inside it. And when he got to the 18th green, he opened it up, and inside was a note that said, how's it feel to get exactly where you want it to be? And inside was champagne and 4 plastic glasses. That is unique. That is going above and beyond. That is knowing your client on an intimate level. That is really the beauty of social media, is that you can know the masses based on data analytics, but then you can dig in deep and you can find out what's on the minds of each individual person if you care to know so. You can take care of, if you've read the book, Thank You Economy by Gary Vaynerchuk, then you'll know that there's some great examples he's used in his wine library where he's done some different things that are unique in reaching out to that individual client, an individual customer, and letting them know that they cared about them. And so it's not to say that you need to spend money on clients, though some activities will require payment. But think about the last time you got a thank you note. I know nonprofits, they literally have someone in the board member send out people when they hit a certain level of donations. Someone on the board writes a handwritten note to thank them for hitting to that level of donations. So think about, what are you doing differently to be a go-giver in the marketplace these days? Have a fantastic day, everybody.